And we're back. Welcome back to the Brave Podcast. I've been on the road a lot lately. My name is Angelo, for those of you that don't know me, aka Exploring with Angelo here on YouTube. Normally you'll find me out there hunting ghosts, going on crazy adventures, abandoned places, things like that. But yeah, usually when I'm back home, we have time to do some talking, have some conversations with interesting people, which we have a very interesting guest today. But before we get to him, I'm going to introduce to you my co-host, Moshi.
Hi, that's me. My name is Mohammed. I'm Moshi on YouTube and on Instagram and all that. It's Moshio. And today we're going to be talking to someone new, a new friend of mine that I'd like to learn a lot about. But before I introduce him to you, I'm going to tell you about our Spotify account, our Rumble account,
We
as
have
well
one of
as... Don't we? Or okay,
We do, yeah.
Our
do. I'm
podcasts
just
are on
messing with
Spotify, YouTube, obviously, and Rumble. So check us out there. Now, to introduce you to our guest today. Gentlemen, I have just found out has a second channel. And we're going to be talking about... Yeah, see, we're learning a lot today.
We're learning already.
Welcome, Brent, from Abandoned Urbex Canada to the podcast.
Thanks, guys, for having me. Appreciate it.
Thank you for coming.
Sorry it took so long to kind of meet up here.
No worries. I know
We've been both kind of busy, and
that's the
I had to
worst
cancel
part.
a couple times on you and reschedule. And
I'm happy we made it work.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
glad I'm here. Thanks, guys.
So yeah, kind of we kind of do like similar stuff. I kind of started out doing more or less similar to what you're doing. You just kind of kept doing it.
Yeah.
Whereas my content kind of evolved and changed over time. But yeah, tell everybody what you do on YouTube.
Well, I explore and film abandoned and forgotten places, some historic places as well. But yeah, that's just what I do. And all my videos are exploring abandoned places.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long have you been doing that now?
Just before COVID, I started the channel. So I guess about 4 years now, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So not that long.
What kind of got you started in that?
Well, I've always been a fan of exploring abandoned places. Since I was a little kid, I was exploring places with my dad. And just, I don't know, about 4 years ago, I decided, you know what, maybe I'll start a channel up and do some photography as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't think, I wasn't even on social media at this point. And I had no idea like how popular this hobby was until I started searching on YouTube and Instagram and stuff. But yeah, then I just started a channel. I used to watch a lot of guys too, kind of what I do. So I got some ideas that way. And then I started the channel up and it just kind of went from there. Yeah, and it got pretty popular during COVID because they're all at home watching YouTube, right? So it got pretty popular during the COVID time. But yeah.
Nothing else to do but watch YouTube.
That's right.
Or go to abandoned places where you're probably not going to get COVID from.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Who like did you used to watch before you kind of got started? Who were like your, I guess, inspirations?
Yeah, you know who I used to watch? I used to watch a bit of Carlo.
Okay.
Carlo Pelosa.
I don't know who that is. Who's Carlo?
No, I don't. Yeah,
No,
you wouldn't know who he is. Who else? No, I watched dark exploration films.
Okay.
Another guy. What's his name? I always get his channel mixed up. Well, Exploring with Josh was always a popular one too, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Mobile Instinct.
Okay.
Yeah, I really like that guy. I still watch his stuff.
Probably a little bit of Steve Ronan. He's all right.
Steve Ronan, yeah, I explored with him actually in Florida.
Yeah,
he's a great guy. Yeah,
yeah. I remember seeing you guys' Instagram clips. I'm like, oh, you guys went down together. Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
I was actually down there at the exact same time that you guys were down there, but I was in a completely different area.
Oh, were you?
Yeah.
I know you messaged me when I was out there, and I just missed you. I remember we explored.
Yeah, actually, I think that's what it was. I think we got in the day like you guys were basically heading out of state or something along those lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I only had a short visit, but we explored the Bin Laden mansion.
Right.
And then I seen you guys went there right after. But that place was crazy. Like when I first wanted to explore that place, I think I only seen one video on it and it wasn't that popular. But then all of a sudden, like it was weird. It was like that 1 week that we all went down to explore that place, everybody else did. And there was like, everybody just posted all their videos all at once.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. Like it just got very popular, that location.
That tends to happen though. So like one person who's relatively well known on social media who does, abandoned locations, they'll do it. And then obviously like everybody ends up doing it right after. It's kind of like if Ethan does one mansion and then we end up doing it right after because he brings us there.
Yeah.
And then everybody else all of a sudden starts doing it because they end up figuring out either where their location is or it gets shared around or whatever it is. And then the destruction derby starts after that usually.
Yeah, that mansion actually has I've seen some pictures lately, and it's got some vandalism going on there.
The Bin Laden one?
Yeah, some graffiti and stuff.
Yeah.
But funny story, actually, when we went to that place, we showed up there, and we seen some people inside. So we're like, great, like, who are these people? And they all of a sudden we see this arm go up, and they're holding their camera, like waving it, saying like, "Oh, we're photographers too. We're all good here." But we went in there, and these girls, there was 3 girls in there, and they were totally doing like a nude photo shoot in there.
Oh yeah,
it was crazy, and they didn't care. They're like, I hope you guys don't mind us girls walking around nude and changing clothes." And we're like, "Yeah, no, we're just here to film and take pictures ourselves." But yeah, they're wandering around the mansion like nude. It was like, it was kind of strange. I've never ran into that before, exploring abandoned places for sure.
Yeah,
but
I actually know like personally a couple of people who do, well, maybe like 1 or 2. No, I think there's 2 people that I know personally that do that stuff. The nude photography in abandoned places in particular. Yeah,
wow. I've seen like other photography, like they dress up in like nice old dresses and that. Yeah. Or they do a lot of makeup and horror type stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you probably have seen Lacey Decay.
Yeah, she does
Chelsea.
Yeah,
she's. I've been with her a lot of times when she's done like her really cool photo shoots.
Oh, nice.
And stuff.
Yeah, her boyfriend, her husband, he does like kind of videos like you, right?
We meet. We're good friends. We meet up all the time and film together. I'm probably going to see them in another couple of weeks.
Nice.
So yeah, they do some interesting work. Yeah, that for context. The reason why we call it the Bin Laden mansion is because it was, what was it, his brother or something owned
his brother's,
it for a period of time.
Brother's mansion. And then as soon as 9/11 hit, they just they got out of town right away. And the place is just they can't sell it.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's a beautiful house though. It's like this.
Oh, so
what
nice.
was it, like 4,000 square feet?
At least that.
Right on the water. It's not on the ocean. It's on a lake. But beautiful property, a lot of space. And it's historic. It's like 150 years old or something like that.
Yeah, I think it was 1920 or it's pretty old. Yeah, it's a beautiful home though.
Yeah,
I actually found that house on my own. Like it was just because I went online, I was looking it up, and the media kind of gives these locations away.
Yeah,
like they said what town it was in, and it was on a lake.
Right.
So I looked up the town.
Not hard to find.
There's a little lake there, and it's Google Earth. The whole lake, and there you could totally see it. Like it was so easy to find.
They stand out like very easily. I had a funny story about when we did that place. At the time, Frank was working for me, and so we go into like this one area, and then all of a sudden, I'm like, "What is on my legs?" Right? Like it's like itchy or weird or something. Something weird was going on. I like pulled my socks down, and pulled my like pant leg up, and it was just like these black fleas or something. I don't know what the heck they were, but there was like 100 of them on each foot. So me and Frank are up in one of the bedrooms. Jazz is downstairs, and he's like, "What the F is going on up there?" He's hearing us
on that. We lucked out on that.
Yeah, and so it was like me and Frank. We're both taking off all our shoes and socks, and we're like frantically like this. I have it all on camera. It was the funniest thing ever.
It was like fleas or something.
Yeah, I don't know if it was from. We went into the basement, and then by the time we got upstairs, that's when we noticed that they were literally all over our legs, and they just would not go away. You'd brush like 5 off, 10 more would show up. We couldn't figure out where the hell they were coming from, and then as soon as we left the house, I guess they don't like sunlight or heat or more heat. I don't know. It was really weird. Yeah. And then they just kind of all started, like I literally pulled my sock down and you could see them all one by one just jumping off my leg. I don't know what was going on with that, but
I heard a few people that went after I did that they had the same problem.
Yeah.
And I never had that when I went. So I'm not too sure if they were like some kind of ticks or fleas or I don't know. It was weird.
I don't remember getting like bit or anything. They were just really annoying because they wouldn't go away. They just kept coming back. But
what else did you do out there when you were in Florida that time?
I don't remember. I think we did mostly just like random areas. Nothing particularly abandoned apart maybe from that one. Maybe like one or two other spots.
Okay, yeah.
Because in Florida's kind of weird because they don't really. First of all, there's not a lot of abandoned stuff. I find.
Yeah.
They're kind of like really spaced out here and there. I know you guys did like 3 or 4 spots. I think, right?
Yeah, that's right. We did that Holy Land.
Yeah, what was that?
That was pretty interesting place. It was like a controversial, like, I don't know, Christian theme park.
Mm-hmm.
It was just strange, but the place was just wide open. They didn't have anything up, and it's demolished now, but it was amazing. Like the place was just decaying like crazy.
Yeah.
And the theater part was amazing because all the seats were all like covered in white mold. All the seats, it was so bad in there, but that was a lot of fun.
It hadn't even been abandoned for that long, right?
Not that long. So I remember seeing a video. A guy did like a tourist type video on that place like a few weeks prior, but I don't know. It decayed very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Like the mold set in, and they didn't cut the grass, and it just looked really bad within like pretty small time. But it was a cool place though for sure.
Yeah, I remember when I went and I was messaging Steve, and I'm like, "Any cool places to do?" He's like, "You got to do this Holy Land thing," but we just didn't have the time to do it, and we were on our way out of state. And then I think it was like demolished pretty much like a week after or something like that. I remember he's like, "You got to go quick because it's gonna get demolished next week." I'm like, you know what? I guess I'll just experience it through your guys' camera angles or something, right? But I know
there's some cool spots out there. There's some cool spots, but it's not that popular out there. Like it's crazy how popular Urbex is in Ontario. Like I've traveled all around Canada, and it's not that popular like here. It's crazy. Like even in Florida, there's only like a handful of people out there that that are online doing videos or Instagram on it. But here in Ontario, there's just like hundreds of people doing videos, and they're on Instagram and Facebook and that. It's just, I don't know why it's so popular here.
I don't know.
It's
I wondered
weird.
the same thing. Yeah, because I've noticed that like other places, it's like nobody really does that. Like if you go to Nova Scotia, there's like same thing, like a handful of people who actively go out and explore specifically for abandoned places. Yeah. And then here it's like explorers are like a dime a dozen. I don't know what it is, if it's some weird culture thing that we have going on here, but I mean, whatever, I guess.
Is there just so many more houses out here and out there? Is that the reasoning?
It depends. I know, Ontario's got a lot of abandoned houses. Yeah. Like I've been out to like BC and that, and it's not so much houses, it's more like buildings and structures and stuff like that. But yeah, Ontario's got, there's just so much new development going on here, right? It's just crazy.
Yeah, everywhere you look basically in Ontario, they're just destroying subdivisions, whole neighborhoods. Like we've had Ethan on the show many times. There was that one neighborhood, where was it? And like, I don't even remember where it was anymore.
Oh, the Court, Archer Court, I think. That was the street name. Yeah, that place was nuts. Yeah, that was crazy. They just went in there and clear cutted all the 14 abandoned houses. Wow. And they clear cut all the trees, and ripped all the gardens out. It just looked really strange.
Yeah, I don't know what it is in Ontario, why Urbex is so popular, but like I said, whatever floats your boat, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess.
It's a fun hobby. What would you say are your like top 3 favorite places that you've ever done?
Probably I went to a ghost town in BC a few years ago. That was a lot of fun. It was a challenge getting there. It was quite the drive, and it was an old mining town, so there was probably, I don't know, 22 abandoned houses sitting out there.
Is that the sinkhole?
No, it's a different one.
That's a different one.
But this one, it was like when the mine shut down, the whole town was abandoned. No money there anymore. Right. But a Chinese investor bought it, and they tried fixing it up a little bit. They replaced the roofs on it and that, and then they backed out, and they tried selling it for 1.2 million. So I think it's still abandoned and still for sale. But that one is pretty neat. And probably the gold mine in the BC as well. It was a gold mine on the side of a mountain, and that was just an incredible location.
That's cool.
And it was quite the trek up the mountain.
Oh, I can imagine.
It was about an hour and a half hike up the mountain, and then once we got to the top, there were stairs going down to the mine, and it was like, I don't know, it was probably 900 steps to go down now. So it was crazy location. And the Ben Laden one I really liked. I really liked that mansion. It was just a unique mansion. I've never been to a mansion like that before. I just loved the staircase and all the stucco and stuff. It was pretty nice. I like that one as well.
Yeah. I think mines would be interesting. I can't remember if I've ever actually done any. I probably have been to like some small ones, but nothing like what you're talking about. That's nuts. Like you gotta watch out for like things that'll try and kill you.
Well,
there.
there was actually, that place was infested with pack rats. Like,
Oh, really?
They're
Wow.
like pack rats in BC. They call them pack
Yeah.
rats. They're like a little fuzzier and cuter than the rats we have here in Toronto. But they're massive. They're huge. And they love wood structures.
Right.
So that place was just all wood. And we, at night when we were sleeping in our hammocks, they were all over us, like climbing all over the ground, up the walls. It was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if you don't like rats, it's not a place to go for sure.
No, definitely, definitely not. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of rats.
Rats, no.
Or like, you know, other things that can generally kill. I don't think rats will kill you unless maybe they give you like rabies or something.
Unless
right?
they got
But-
rabies and they bite you in the neck or something. I don't know.
I'd probably be more concerned with like bears and mountain lions and
Yeah.
stuff, which they definitely have a lot out in BC, right? So
Yeah, you got to watch when you explore out there.
yeah.
Like October is, you know, the bears are out. They're
Mhm.
eating. So
Well, they're getting ready for winter.
oh
right?
yeah, oh yeah, yeah. And I'm more scared of the cougars out there, like the
Mm.
mountain lions. Those things will stalk you and kill you in a second. Those things.
Oh yeah.
Feed on you.
Yeah, I've encountered a few bears, but they're kind of skittish and they kind of run away. But cougars, I haven't seen one before, but
Mhm.
they're hunting you down and kill you. Those
Oh, yeah.
things.
Yeah. Same thing with moose. Mike was actually telling me a story yesterday. Where was he? I think he said he was out in Algonquin. So we were talking about in Banff recently. Apparently there was a couple who was camping, which is apparently like something most people just don't do. I wonder why, right? Because they got grizzly bears out there
I heard
that
this story.
will not hesitate to kill you. So apparently this couple got killed by a grizzly bear.
Oh no.
And Mike's like, why would you do that? Like, you know, I would never camp. And he's like a big camping person. He was talking about how once he was in Algonquin, which for those that don't know, I think it's a provincial park, right?
Yeah, Algonquin's.
So Algonquin's a provincial
Yep.
park here in Ontario, massive place, but they have moose and they have bears. So he was telling me, he's like, one morning we woke up with a moose basically in our tent.
Oh, wow.
Like it actually put its head inside of his canopy or whatever, and he woke up and he's just like slowly reaching for his phone. I'm like, I don't know what you were planning on
Yeah,
doing.
hit him in the
right?
head with it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, imagine just waking up and there's this giant moose inside of your tent.
Oh, those
'cause-
things would kill you too,
Oh,
though.
yeah.
Like I've seen those things stomp people to death. Same with
Oh,
deer.
yeah.
Like people
Yeah.
go up to deer and stuff. That's not a good idea.
No.
Like they will stomp you to death with those hooves.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, they're nuts.
Yeah, deer are kind of weird creatures. They're kind of
Yeah.
they're cute, but they're stupid.
Yeah.
That's why when they see a car coming, they're just like
Yeah.
they're just staring.
They can't decide
at
which
you.
way to go.
Yeah. Oh my god, gotta love it. So any international? So you've done some international travel. Where
Yeah.
have you been? Because I know you've probably done like almost every province now in Canada. I
Pretty
imagine.
much, but I haven't filmed all of them yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got some trips planned. I got some trips planned to Newfoundland,
Nice.
New Brunswick. Can't wait to go to Newfoundland. There's some really cool spots out there. But yeah, I've been out to the States a little bit. I like to venture out there a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've been to Florida a couple of times, and Arkansas was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I met up some local explorers out there, and it was a lot of fun. But I like to do some more trips down south.
Yeah.
Like you just got back from Ohio, you said?
Yeah, I was just in Ohio doing what did we do? We filmed a haunted school. It was abandoned at one point and then somebody purchased it, tried to convert it into apartments. Apparently the story was that it was a newly married couple who bought the place and then I guess realized how big of a project it was to do
Yeah.
and then just I guess figured out that it wasn't really worth it for them. And then somebody else purchased it. There's some like crazy stories about this place. The guy who was there, who's part of a paranormal network group, who basically helped us book the location so we can film there. So first off, I had a really crazy experience getting into the country because I went through the Detroit-Windsor border. I don't know if you've ever crossed there before, but
No, I don't think so.
No?
Not there. Niagara Falls, I think.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
usually the way that I go to.
Yeah.
And had I known it was going to be this much of a mess, I would never have gone through it's the Ambassador Bridge.
Okay.
So I tried crossing. And I'm like, he's like, oh, what are you going for? So first of all, I knew I got a clue that the guy was a dick right off the hop when he's like, oh, where do you live? And I'm like, Brampton, Ontario. And he gives me like this look. I'm
Oh,
like,
really?
Brampton, Ontario, Canada? Like, really? Do I have to say the Canada part? Like, you literally border our province.
Yes.
It's not like you don't know what Ontario is, especially when you say Brampton, Ontario, right? So he's like, what are you going for? I'm like, going to meet up with some friends. I'm going ghost hunting. He's like, what do you do for work? And I'm like, I'm a content creator. I make videos on YouTube. And he writes up his orange slip, brings me over to secondary.
Oh.
This is when shit started to hit the fan because they were just mean. They were just rude, mean people. You remember we had an experience going through Detroit,
That's
right?
Really?
And I remember the first time we went through, we were on the way to Atlanta because we were going for a convention, and there was a bunch of people who were not Canadian citizens. So we're all on this bus, and the CBP guy comes on the bus, and he how did it start?
First one was Will.
Yeah, and he's like, what's your name or whatever, and what's your citizenship? And he's like, from El Salvador.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we got one. And then literally the guy next to him was, I think, Dominican, right?
Oh, I think
right?
so.
I think
so.
that's who was sitting next to him. So he's like, where are you from? He's like, Dominican Republic. He's like, we got two, everybody off the bus. And then that was like a waste of like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But yeah, this time was just like explaining to them that filming a video is not actually work. It's not like I go film the video and then somebody gives me a paycheck or pays me for a service or something like that. I go home and I edit the video and then I upload it, or I have the video edited abroadly while I'm still in the United States.
Yeah.
So I'll send the footage back here and have an editor do it here. They didn't seem to get that, so they actually turned me around and sent me back to Canada.
No way.
At this point, my friend Jazz was about 3.5 hours away. So I had gone to the turnaround gate, ended up at a Popeyes, was sitting there and trying to figure out what I'm going to do now, right? Because I'm like, well, I could drive all the way to the Peace Bridge, which would be about 3.5 hours, but then it's going to take me 6 hours to drive back, which means I'm not going to be there until tomorrow morning at this point. So maybe I'll just go home. But yeah, I'm talking to Jazz. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to try the tunnel. Because in Detroit, there's two, right? There's the bridge and then there's the tunnel as well. So I'm like, I'll give it a shot. You're probably not going to hear back from me for at least 2 hours because I most likely get sent to secondary again, which is exactly what happened. But at least over there, they were much nicer.
Yeah, they probably red flagged you.
Yeah, they were much nicer. They were more understanding. The guy was a little confused because he's like, did you just get turned around?
So they have a record of it. I was going to ask that.
Yeah,
okay.
so it goes in the system. And the guy, like, as I walked in there, he's like, what, you didn't think they were all interconnected? I'm like, no, I kind of figured that everything was obviously connected. Like, I'm not stupid, right? I figured obviously it would show up in your system. But yeah, that guy it took another 2 hours, but the guy was understanding and he actually ended up letting me go through. So yeah.
Well, I heard that happens when people come here. Look, when I was out in Florida, Steve Ronan, he wanted to come to Canada, and we talked about this. And I guess he knew somebody that came through Canada. And
I think he mentioned that, yeah.
Yeah, and he said,
was it Canada? I thought he mentioned the UK. The UK stopped somebody from entering.
No, he said
something.
Canada. He said Canada because he said, he's asking me questions what he should say when he tries to come over the border. And I just told him, like, don't say you're here to work.
Yeah.
That's just
you're not
say
here
that.
To work.
No.
Yeah,
well,
you're filming a video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess it was another explorer. I'm not too sure. Maybe it was Big Banks or something. I think he tried coming across. I think it was him.
He got through though. I remember he was with Ethan. I remember I messaged him like, "Oh, you're in town," but I know he was leaving like the day after, so I didn't have a chance to see him.
Maybe it was him or somebody else or a previous time. But I think when he tried to come across or someone tried to come across, they said, "Oh, I'm doing some work here," and they're like, "No, absolutely not. You don't have the paperwork for that." So anybody that comes to Canada that wants to film, just say you're here to. I always say I'm here for vacation.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to say.
That's what I say.
Yeah, that's kind of the easiest thing to do. But like, if I'm legitimately going for like ghost hunt purposes or to film something, but I had to like argue with them because it's like it's kind of unfair as a content creator because I to put it into perspective. Now, as like a content creator, you can even get monetized on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. So in reality, if you think about it, it's like if I'm in the United States and I retweet something on X or I put something on X, a little video of some sort, and I happen to make 2 cents, are you actually going to consider that now working illegally? Like it's ridiculous because there's this whole weird gray area, and Congress can't seem to really figure it out whether it is work or isn't work. But it's so complicated, and it's just dumb, but
I didn't think they were that strict in the States.
Yeah.
I've heard of Canada being pretty strict
Yeah,
for people coming in here, but
Yeah.
I've had no problem. My camera gear always gets checked out pretty good. Like I always have the bag on me, and I have stuff in my suitcase as well. And they're always pulling that to the side and going over everything and swabbing it, because it's like I have to explain to them sometimes what some of the stuff is.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it's on carry on, right? So
yeah, I've had that situation too. Pretty interesting. Most of the time I don't have any issues though.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I'm going to film some YouTube videos, whatever. It's not actually considered working, whatever. And they're like, all right. I mean, there was one time recently I went for Brother Frank's memorial thing. This was the easiest because they're like, oh, where you live, Brampton, Ontario, Canada, whatever. What are you going for? Memorial for a friend who passed away. Okay, goodbye. And that was it. Literally those two questions, and they're just like, all right, see ya. But yeah, most of the time it's not too complex. So anyways, we ended up in Ohio at this formerly abandoned school. Really cool. Has crazy history. 3 of the students who went to this school all ended up committing a murder.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
3 separate students within the last like 40 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. It's like, it's actually like documented. Like if you search it up online, Middle Point School, Ohio, you'll actually find the information on it.
That's creepy.
No idea why, but there's also like another crazy story around this place. And I can't go into like so much detail, like names and stuff, but there's this controversial thing that happened in this town where this 24-year-old dude who worked for somebody in the town ended up going missing back in 2016. It's now suspected that the guy he was working for, who lives very close by to this school and to the kid, may have actually murdered this kid, and then in cahoots with another neighbor who was a hoarder and owned a piece of land and was known for burning his own garbage or burying his garbage on his own property, may have, it's alleged that he may have helped him dispose of the remains of this person. It's just like this crazy story. And there's location. Sorry?
That's a good location.
Right? Like it's just disturbing as all hell. Like, but yeah, since 2016, nobody knows what happened to him. There's been no evidence. The only evidence that people are using to kind of like suspect what happened or allege what happened is actually through ghost hunting, oddly enough. Because they've been getting kind of like clues. The kid's name keeps popping up for some reason. They keep getting led to this property, and then supposedly there are mounds about 6 or 7 feet long, and they're kind of mushy on this property. Now, the guy who owns the property has passed on. He died, I think, a year or 2 years ago. And some people accidentally may have ended up on this property, being led there by ghosts, and then stood on these mounds and were like, that's odd. This mound is exactly 7 feet long and very narrow. I wonder what could be under there. Yeah, it's super creepy. So, but still, to this day, nobody's managed to really kind of figure out what the hell's going on there.
So when are you posting that video?
I already posted it, actually.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So in my video specifically, I didn't go into too much detail because the guy who was there with us, who was giving us all the info, didn't want to say it because it's too controversial and it's too much for like the neighbors. But that's kind of why I'm like talking about it now, because it's kind of it's weird. Right.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
it's a very, very strange, weird story. It just seems like a whole bunch of weird stuff happens in this one small town, and it all seems to connect to this school. Right.
Yeah. And
the school's pretty haunted as well. So that's.
So did you say they fixed it up? So they're going to keep it. They're not demolishing it, right?
Yeah. So it's so basically the first couple, they were trying to turn it into apartments, and they got like part of the way done. Like they put up new drywall, they separated some apartments, built an entire kitchen on one side, and then just realized that it was too much work. But the guy who owns it now, I think his name is Jerry, if I'm not mistaken. He bought it. He's not really doing any work actively at the moment. He's just kind of doing, preservation work. So any donations that he gets from either people who want to film they've filmed like a small movie there, or people if they want to go ghost hunting, like what we did. You pay your $400 or $500 or whatever it is, and you get to the place basically for the night.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So all those funds are essentially used to kind of preserve the building. Like there was a big leak in in the roof. He managed to fix that. Otherwise, it was just going to destroy the place, right? So, yeah, it's kind of cool when people do stuff like that. And, you just pay a fee and you can come in and do whatever it is that you want.
It's awesome. You got all the time you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It was neat, too, because it's such a historic location. It was built 1885 as a woman's nursing college or something like that. And then later on, they expanded it and turned it into an elementary school.
Nice.
And yeah, it was just a pretty unique location. And I think I did a brewery after that, which used to be a monastery. I'm not sure if that was ever abandoned or not. But basically, there is a gentleman by the name of John who's got a lot of money. He's very eccentric, we'll call him. He travels a lot and he collects religious artifacts from around the world. So what he did was he bought this monastery, and then he converted the lower area of the monastery into a brewery, and then added all of these crazy religious artifacts that he keeps collecting or importing. Like, we're talking full-size Genghis Khan metal statues that literally came from China.
Wow.
Like, it's wild. Like, the things that this guy has in this brewery,
it's crazy.
It was insane. And then, like, it's cool because, like, in the actual upper part of the monastery, the church is still there. All the pews are there, the altar, and he's got like a giant Buddha statue right in the middle of the altar, which is like, it's just crazy because I believe it was originally a Christian monastery, and now all of a sudden there's a Buddha thing. And Austin was telling us, he's like, yeah, people come here and they do like meditation, right? So people will come and you'll walk in, all you hear is Om.
Wow.
So yeah, and then the other section they built like an Airbnb out of it, so that's where we ended up staying. And then I think the third place was known as the Bel Air House. I don't know if you ever heard of that one.
No.
It's becoming a pretty popular haunted location, and we had some like really wild stuff happen there even before like we started filming. At one point, we got there kind of late, so we're like, okay, we need something to eat, right? So we're on the border of Ohio and West Virginia. So I'm like, I'm gonna see if there's a Sheetz around, because Sheetz is like hands down the best gas station in existence. I don't know if you've ever experienced Sheetz before,
Sheetz,
but
never heard of it.
It's a gas station, but they also have like made to order food. You can get your beer. It's like a one-stop shop for everything, right? It's like a massive thing.
We need that here.
Exactly. Oh, for sure. 100%. Yeah, we're slacking over here in Canada. But anyway, so I end up going to Sheetz. We put our orders in. I end up going there, and Jazz calls me and he's like, "Are you in the house by chance?" I'm like, "No, why?" He's like, I can't hear you, Jack. Somebody walking around. Door. Oh, jeez. And his phone sucks. It always cuts out for some reason. So I get back. I'm like, okay, so what happened exactly? He's like, bro, it was literally right out of a horror movie. I was on the toilet. I'm taking a shit. And all of a sudden I hear the front door open, people walking around inside of the house, talking. And then all of a sudden the door just slams shut, and then it just stops. And I'm like, I don't know. I was at Sheetz the whole time. I literally took a video and sent it to him on Instagram. I'm like, bro, I'm at Sheetz picking up our food. Like, what do you want? Right? But I don't know. I'm like, well, there you go. You got your first experience and you weren't even filming yet. Pretty cool.
That sounds like a fun trip.
Yeah. We always make something out of it. And I think we're going to probably go back soon. Speaking of paranormal, I don't know if you have any belief in it, or have you ever had any experiences, would you say, like going to these places, or maybe like personal experiences outside of Urbex?
Not really. There was one house I did film. So I was walking up the stairs, the door was open in the closet, and a few viewers seen this. I didn't even notice. So when I was walking up the stairs, the closet door was open, but then when I came down the stairs, it was closed all the way.
Oh, wow.
So a lot of people pointed that out, and I had to watch it. And yeah, that was just kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand if it was like open when I went up, or sorry, closed when I went up, and then open when I came down, because maybe someone was hiding in there and then it took off. But no, it was. I haven't seen anything yet, but I totally believe in all that stuff. But I haven't really seen anything exploring. Yeah. Some places are obviously creepier than others. Like I kind of get a weird vibe. Like I just did a video on an abandoned apartment complex. There was 2 buildings there. And there was like a horrible story that happened there. I guess there was like a double murder suicide there. It was a really, really sad story. So I guess the this father gave his 3-year-old son a note saying, "This is why I did this. My confession tape is in my car."
Whoa,
So
3-year-old.
yeah, so this 3-year-old just walks down to the superintendent's big unit, like office unit, and hands him the note. So the superintendent's like, "This is weird." So he went down right away to the apartment, and he was too late. The place was engulfed in flames.
Whoa.
So the next day, the fire department found 3 dead people in there.
Wow.
So they found out that he killed his wife, killed his mother-in-law, and then killed himself. Well, he didn't actually kill himself. He just sat there and he died from smoke inhalation.
That's this
So
one.
then they
right?
left the 3-year-old. Yeah, that
That's
one
the
there.
one?
Yeah. And they left the 3-year-old like an orphan.
Oh
So
my God.
he eventually did go with family. So hopefully, it was quite a few years ago now. I think it was in 2011, I think. So yeah, I think he's around probably 18, 19 now. So hopefully he's doing okay. But yeah, terrible story. And
Yeah.
so I explored that place, and a few units were open. A lot of them were sealed off, but definitely a creepy vibe there.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So the whole complex went abandoned after that?
Yeah, about 2 years after that happened, the whole place went abandoned. A developer owns it, and they kicked everybody out, and they haven't done anything since 2011. Wow. So the whole place, it's kind of grown over. Like you can't really see it from the road. Like the trees are all like grown over. They're covering the whole building, and there's like a huge like wooden wall they built, so you can't, people can't get in there. But it's all people have been going in there, and there's homeless people in there, and place is pretty trashed. But
You feel like there's anything haunted in there?
well, probably. I don't know. You should check it out. I don't know.
based on what's
Probably.
happened.
Yeah, it's a creepy place. I've heard of people going there and getting pretty spooked, but I didn't really see anything, but
Sad.
definitely creepy. Yeah, sad story for sure.
Yeah. I guess like if you're intentionally going out there looking for ghosts, then
Yeah.
maybe you'll find what
You
you're
might,
looking for after
for
like
sure.
a good hour or two. Because that's usually how it works. Like a lot of people don't realize when you're doing like Urbex stuff, first of all, you're focused on like, doing the shoot,
Yeah.
right? That's what your content is all about, is shooting the actual location, telling the history, your story about it, getting the best drone shots and cinematic shots and whatever it is. And most of the time you're probably in there for what, 30, 40 minutes? Realistically?
Yeah, usually I'm probably about an
Depends.
hour.
Yeah.
Probably about an
Depends.
hour per location.
Mm-hmm.
I usually tend to go in a location first and start filming,
Mm-hmm.
and then I do photography after,
Right.
and then I do drone shots after at the last part. And then, it's usually about an hour. Depends on the location.
Yeah. So like ghost hunting kind of works a little bit differently. Sometimes you'll be there, like let's say you get there at 7 o'clock. Sometimes you'll be filming until 7 a.m.
Oh, wow.
I've done that many, like on this trip, I think every single location we probably filmed up to about 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, literally right before the sun starts coming up.
Oh, geez.
And then finally we'd get to bed and it's like the sun is like coming through the curtains or whatever.
That's crazy.
So that's usually just how it works. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer. Especially when there's several creators trying to make 2 separate videos. It's just how it works. But yeah, if anybody wants to check this video out, it is this one. His channel is Abandoned Urbex Canada. It's called The Most Disturbing Case.
Yeah, you can see the graffiti there. It's crazy.
Yeah. There's
But just behind me there, that's where the apartment burnt down.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Did you walk into that one?
Yeah.
I'm scrolling your video and just trying to find it.
Yeah, I think right off the bat, I think the first
Is it?
apartment I go into
Probably
is the
this
one. But they
Yeah.
renovated it. Like they after 2008, when the murder and the fire happened, they did renovate it, and I think they rented it out. It's like a government housing building. So
Okay.
yeah.
Makes sense.
Oh, guys, I forgot to. I got a gift here for you guys.
Oh yeah.
I forgot to give it to you when I first came in.
What is it?
I'll open
Thank
it for
you.
you.
Let's see it.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it's a neon on air
neat.
sign.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so
so I
cool.
was looking around, and I don't think you guys have one. So
No,
I
no.
picked one up for you guys.
I'll hang
So
it behind you on the curtain.
It's pretty neat. Yeah, USB. Yeah, you could.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
Thank you
problem.
very much.
No
That's really cool. Thank you so much.
I'm not sure it would stay on the curtain for too long.
It's okay. I got super glue and double-sided tape. We'll make it happen.
the Gorilla Tape, right? I think we still have some left over there somewhere.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
problem.
appreciate
Thought you
it.
guys would like that.
So would you say this is like probably your most disturbing find? Or have you had anything that's like crazy? I know you did a hoarder house. What was that like?
Yeah, I love hoarder houses for some reason.
Yeah.
I want to mention that's your #1 video in terms of views.
Mm-hmm.
So the Hoarder
Oh,
House
yeah.
is like over 1.1 million views. I was looking at the channel earlier,
Yeah.
which is really cool. Why do you think? So
I've done a
talk
few
about the place.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. Talk about the place, and then just let me know why do you think that video did so well.
Okay. Well, yeah, like I love horror houses. I got a few on my channel. They're kind of hard to find. Like there's not too many around. But that one there that got over 1 million views. Yeah, that place was just incredible. Like every room was just jammed to the roof with like antiques and clothes and boxes and stuff. It was just nuts. And then the hoarding continued outside as well. That's what hoarders usually do.
As
like
it usually does.
yeah, like they're start hoarding in a vehicle and then in a garage and a shed. That place was just full of stuff. It's just like a picker's dream, that place. Damn. But I'm not too sure really why it got so popular, that video. Like there's some videos I do and I don't think they're like, it's not that cool of a location.
Yeah.
I always enjoy filming all my locations, but sometimes they surprise me with views. Yeah. Because it's just, YouTube kind of helps out that way too.
Yeah. Sometimes there's literally no rhyme or reason as to why a video goes viral or whatever. So for example,
except that people like watching it.
I think people do like hoarder houses too. Like there's a few hoarder shows and they do very well. Yeah. So, but
there's certainly a shock factor.
Yeah. Oh yeah. For sure. It's just crazy how people live like that.
Yeah.
Right.
I know some people.
Yeah.
I'm like, how do you do this?
Don't look in my basement.
Yeah. Basically. But yeah, so like for example, I mean, YouTube's just weird in general.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it just doesn't make any sense, right? I remember, I think it was 2 years ago now, when Big Banks had one video that took off. That's literally all it took. I think he spoke to a real estate agent who had the listing of this massive glass mansion in like Indiana or something like that. He got permission. He went, filmed it, and it got like 6 million views or something, something crazy like that.
Probably helped sell the place.
Probably, yeah, yeah.
That's brings a lot of attention.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's people always ask me like, "Where can I buy this place?" So people always looking to buy abandoned places.
Oh yeah. But in terms of the algorithm itself, it's strange sometimes. So I have another friend. His name is also Brent by chance.
Oh, nice.
But he goes by
Brent. Rare breed.
Right.
There's not too many Brents around.
But he goes by Brent TV. Most of my viewers know him on my channel and he's very well known on the internet as the SpongeBob Popsicle guy.
Okay.
So he was like, we were talking about it yesterday. He's like, I made basically a sequel to a video that I did that did really well like a year ago. So I did a sequel to it, basically the same structure, similar thumbnail, that whole sort of thing. Absolutely bombs. Like the video is doing horrible. My video that I uploaded yesterday is probably beating his video. Now I have 118,000 subscribers and he's got 3.4 million subscribers.
Wow.
So it literally makes no sense.
Yeah.
And then he's got other videos that have like 18 million views, right? Wow. So there's, like I said, there's really no rhyme or reason as to why YouTube decides to do what it does sometimes. Sometimes it's just something that's a trend, right?
Like I get people commenting on my channel sometimes saying like, you're in my feed for some reason. I don't ever watch these type of videos. Like I'm a gardener and your video popped up. Now I'm just hooked on this stuff. This stuff is incredible. So it's weird how like my videos get, tossed around YouTube. Yeah. It's just strange for sure.
Yeah. It's there's gotta be some sort of like weird connection, but I noticed that YouTube they do this thing with shorts where I don't know if you post shorts at all.
Sometimes.
Maybe once in a while.
Yeah, I do like them though. I should post more.
Yeah.
I kind of like them.
They're great for exposure for the channel.
Yeah.
But the thing that I noticed that it does is it sends the video out to people who have absolutely no interest whatsoever in whatever it is that you're showing or selling or whatever. So you tend to get a lot of people like trolling or trashing it. And I'm just like, whatever.
That's why I'm not on Facebook. I don't do Facebook. I have a Facebook channel. Like an account. But
for some reason I have an alarm going off. I don't know why at 1:10. That's really weird.
Lunchtime maybe.
I don't know. But yeah, I actually hear that a lot about Facebook. Like Facebook's really
because that's why I don't do Facebook. It's just too much drama for me, and it tends to kind of go where people aren't really interested in it. And you get the trolls on there. Instagram, you kind of look. You got to look for that sort of content, right?
Yeah.
So you don't get the trolls on there much, but yeah, that's why I don't do Facebook.
Yeah, I don't know. Even when I was talking to Brent about it yesterday, I don't know why I have an alarm set for 1:10. That's weird. Ghosts, I guess. Whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
There's been a weird thing happening in here as of late.
Oh yeah.
This light above me will turn itself on while I'm away.
Oh, really?
For no reason whatsoever.
Well, maybe you're bringing things back.
Maybe.
Wow.
I mean, so I do have a couple haunted objects in here. Like we got 2 haunted bricks. They both came from the Wilson Castle.
Oh, really?
2 separate. So you see that brick down there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that brick, apparently, basically the story is that anything that leaves the castle tends to bring the energy of the castle to wherever. So there was a story that for some odd reason, somebody gave away, they have a pool table. Somebody gave away the 8-ball. Couple weeks later, whoever received this 8-ball sent it back to the castle because they're like, screw that,
wow.
take it back. Some
Wow.
weird stuff's happening. So yeah, there's one piece there. There's also another one down there, and then there's also that doll over there is a
Yeah, that doll looks
100-year-old
pretty creepy.
doll from England.
Is it wood?
No,
Like
it's
what?
porcelain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that thing's actually porcelain.
Yeah, that thing's definitely creepy.
Yeah, it's definitely got something in
No
it.
eyes.
Yeah, it's
just-
like weirdly painted on, kind of.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And that was sitting in my chair last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I seen you post a video on the doll. Oh, wow.
I thought it was funny. We gave her
Were
like
you
the
away, or
headphones.
is that why you weren't here?
No, it was us two.
Yeah, I was sitting where you were.
Yeah, he was sitting
Oh,
there.
you switch. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So when it's just us two, we'll sit across from each other because
Oh.
otherwise it'd be like awkward for like
Yeah.
sitting like this
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
to each
yeah.
other
I'd
the
have
entire
a crank
time.
in my neck for the next week.
Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
exactly. So I ended up putting the doll that we don't even know the name of her yet in that chair on top of like a box with some headphones on it.
You think
that's funny?
I thought it was hilarious. We were asking her questions and it would just be totally silent.
Oh, jeez.
You think we have to name it? You think Annabelle's
you
a good
gotta-
name?
Annabelle's good.
I don't think we should do that. But I mean, once we find out a name, maybe
Yeah.
the name of the spirit, we can just go along with that. I'm kind of hoping to go down to South Carolina at some point to see my friend Lay, because she's a psychic medium and she was the one who confirmed that it was haunted.
Oh, wow.
And so basically, I was at this antique shop, and because rumor has it the place is haunted, so I was just like looking around, whatever. I'm on the top floor, and I just see this doll, and I'm just like, this bitch is peering into my soul, right? I'm just like, there's something up with this doll, right? I just felt it for some reason. I took a picture, and I'm carrying her to the counter, and as I'm carrying her over, because I sent the picture over to my friend Lay, I'm like, is she haunted? LOL. And she goes, yes, she has a partial soul in her.
Oh, wow.
I'm like, I knew something was up. Like something was just weird about it, right? But yeah, I decided to take it.
Well, that
and
doll's probably making the lights flicker in here.
it's no, we would have said the same thing, except that's been happening before the doll was
yes.
ever
Okay.
here. Right? Because I remember because we have a Ring camera in here, and I remember one day looking at the live feed, I'm like, why does it look like the sun is literally in the middle of the room? Right? And I'm like, I don't know what the hell's going on. We've also had remember the day the motion detector went off?
Yeah.
The motion sensor? Because I'll get an
Oh.
alert to my phone as soon as there's motion, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is going on? The only explanation for that was because we have the blackout curtains on the top there.
Oh, yeah.
One of them kind of fell because the way we put them up was incorrect. Because for some reason, Mo decided he was gonna tape
Stick
them
it
to the
directly
window.
to the glass. Yeah.
Which over time, when it gets cold or hot or
Yeah,
fluctuations in
yeah.
temperature, the adhesive is not going to hold, right? So it kind of fell, and there was a bunch of sun coming through, hitting the back of that curtain right there, and I guess that might have set the motion off. So I don't know for sure, but I came in here, and that was the
Well,
only
it's-
explanation.
That's cool. You got a camera in here, though.
Yeah.
Pick up something once in a while.
Yeah, exactly. So once in a while, I check the live stream, and I just want to see if she's like
Moving
still
around,
there,
dancing
moving.
around the table.
Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine?
Doing her own,
She's
her
just
own
like-
podcast.
Yeah. she's
Hey
just-
guys, welcome back to the
Yeah,
podcast.
welcome back.
Oh my
That's
god!
funny.
But yeah, just some weird stuff. I don't know. I don't know if it's just like defective or whatever. Because you can like control it with an app. Because
Oh, really?
technically it's
Mhm.
always on. We leave the switch on, but we turn it off with the app. Because who the hell is going to go up there every time
Oh,
we
yeah,
do a
true.
show, right? So we just control it with that, and then there's the other one over there. We just do manually with our hand or whatever. I don't know. It's very strange.
Yeah, I love the studio. By the way, it's nice.
Thank you.
Thank
yeah.
you, man.
Yeah, we
Good.
tried.
Looks good.
Yeah, we had an
Very
idea.
cozy.
And yeah, that's what we were aiming for.
Yeah.
I feel like if we're gonna bring guests in here, it's got to be like very, it's very man cavey kind of.
Oh, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But it does the job. Apart from that, what would you say is your craziest Urbex experience? Like, I don't know. Have you ever been chased by the cops? Or
Well, actually, when I was in Florida, it was a pretty weird situation. We went. It was the three of us. I think his name is it's Chris and Trevor. I think exploring with Trevor and Blood Crushner. I think that's his YouTube name. But we went exploring this abandoned mini putt.
Okay.
And it was just like something we were just driving by, and it was really cool. There's a pirate ship, and there's all those different structures there. And we're like, let's pull in, and let's go in there and check it out. And it's usually like those ones are usually like the safe ones. It's just like out in the open, But we pull up and we see these group of guys just kind of just checking us out. They're hanging out by the plaza, and we went in, did our stuff. We're starting to film and take some pictures and stuff. But then we see these guys kind of spread out. And they start surrounding us in this place. And we realize that we're kind of in their place, like their home. They kind of live in there. So they're living in those structures. So maybe they thought we were going to like rob them or something. Right. But they kind of, I could tell, I seen them kind of like separating and then surrounding us. And I just told them like, let's get to the sidewalk right away. Cause then now we're out in the open by the road. And I don't know what happened, but like, if they would have robbed us, who knows? I don't know. But they surrounded us, and then we kind of just got out, and we were pretty pumped up. Our heart was going pretty good. But no, I haven't been chased out of a place. No,
not yet.
Homeowners
anyway.
Sometimes come in, or
that tends.
But they're usually they don't want anybody in there because of like the liability stuff, right? Like the place is rotten. If someone falls, technically they could get sued, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So they don't want anybody usually in there.
Yeah.
But
I remember I went to a mini golf place. I don't remember where the hell it was. It might have been. I wonder if it was the same place. We just kind of noticed it. Like
I forget the name of it. But it was in Florida. Yeah. A huge pirate ship, massive. And there was actually someone living in the pirate ship. Like I opened up the little door on the ship, and there's like a sleeping bag and a pillow in there. Yeah. So they're totally living in that place. Yeah,
I remember in Florida. Florida is just weird. Plus, I mean, when you do abandoned places in Florida, you got to be careful because in Florida they do have the stand your ground law, right? So some people will shoot first and ask questions later, right?
Exactly.
So you gotta be
peeping in a window, and all of a sudden you get shot at. Yeah,
exactly.
Right? Like it's not like here.
You gotta be cautious over there because everybody in Florida is strapped. Like everyone carries, or they have concealed carry, right? You have to buy permit. You have to get a permit.
Security guard. They're all armed.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Here, like they're just sleeping most of the time, or they got flashlights. That's about
exactly.
it. Out there, they got guns. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's different.
Yeah. Most of our security guards here are just utterly useless. I don't know if you saw the video the other day, Bramley City Center. There was like 3 teenagers store. Or whatever at the White Carrot, I think it's called.
Right.
Yeah, I've seen that video.
Yeah. Only in Brampton.
They didn't do anything about it.
No,
it's not only
nothing.
in Brampton. That's been happening a lot. I see that everywhere on Instagram now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know, but Brampton's just getting pretty bad too.
Is it? Yeah.
It is. It's rough. I've had my car broken over the years. I've had my car broken into on my driveway twice.
Yeah.
And then I caught them because they stole my GPS, and then they listed it online for sale, which I found, and then
I remember that.
I tricked them because I still had the original box that has the serial number. So what I did was I tricked them because I'm like, I think I have does it come with the power plug for the car? And he's like, no. I'm like, okay, I think I might have one for that unit. Can you send me a picture of the back so I can confirm? Sure, no problem. He sends me the picture which has the serial number. So I was on the phone the whole day with the detective for Peel Regional Police, and I'm like, I got him. He's like, what? I'm like, I got him. I made a plan to go and buy my GPS at 6 p.m. tonight. Either you go first or I go and break his kneecap. So pick one. He's like, don't go. We're going to go and take care of it. He busted them. They had like all this stuff that was stolen from all over the city.
Well done.
That was smart of you. That was good. Good idea.
So I figured, I'm like, how stupid would these guys be to steal it and then within like 3 hours list it online, which is exactly what they did.
Yeah, that's not the smartest thing.
No, definitely not.
Or at least scratch off the serial number.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, you would think.
That's the first place the police look to, right? For all that stuff is online.
Of course. So in terms of exploring places, what place would be like, or maybe multiple places, or it's like a bucket list location that you would absolutely love to do?
There's a place in BC that I've been wanting to do for a few years. It's an abandoned town. Okay. So you can only get there by ferry. And then the ferry it's a tough schedule too. Mm-hmm. So sometimes the ferry will leave within a few hours, or a few days later they'll come back and pick you up. So
Oh.
either you go in there, explore and film for like 2-3 hours and get out, or you might have to stay there for a few days, and there's like nowhere to stay out there.
Yeah.
But it's got an old hospital there and houses and police station and rec hall, all kinds of stuff. There's been a couple videos posted on that place. There was a music video posted there as well. Pretty cool place. But
I think I know
it's like
exactly
a
which one
17-hour ferry ride to that location.
Wow.
And you could
You
sleep
can't
on the
drive
ferry.
in there?
No, it's
I don't know if I'm
landlocked.
thinking of the same location, but was it
It's called Ocean Falls.
Ocean Falls? Okay.
Ocean Falls.
No, that's a different
Yeah.
location than what I was thinking.
But this one is like, it's like landlocked. Yeah.
Interesting. Definitely got to do some research on that.
Yeah, it's a cool spot.
Yeah, you've done a lot of stuff out that way.
Yeah, I love it out there. There's
Yeah.
just really cool stuff out there. Yeah.
It's super unique because like Western Canada is just like there's no other place really like it in the world, right?
Yeah.
Between BC and Alberta. I don't know how much stuff you've done in Alberta, but
Not too much. There's not too much really out there. Like
Yeah.
there's some stuff. There's a lot of like those grain buildings
Right.
and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
Newfoundland's totally opposite side. There's some cool spots there. Tons of ghost towns out there. But I got a few spots I'm gonna go out there. So
yeah, usually when I go to like Alberta, BC recently, it was just kind of like just chill.
yeah.
Yeah, I just went out with
Expensive
a few
out
friends.
there.
And, BC is,
Yeah, so
BC is
expensive.
ridiculous. Like their gas prices are through the roof. Housing prices are insane. Alberta's good though. Alberta's like considered the cheapest place to. It's still relatively affordable, right? Plus all of our gas and oil comes from there. Well, not gas, but oil comes from there
true.
for the most part.
Yeah.
So economically they're doing okay. And you can still buy a house for like $600,000, like more or less brand new home for like $600,000 less.
Wow.
Here, good luck with that. Here,
crazy
you
here.
want a box that needs a lot of work. It's going to cost you like 1.5 million.
Yeah.
So
I'm lucky I bought years ago. So yeah, I don't know how people could buy a house nowadays.
Oh, it's insane
around here.
Yeah.
Like anywhere near Toronto. Like you have to like go like 3-4 hours north or
right.
east or west of Toronto to buy a place.
Yeah. Everybody I know that it's they're looking outside the city or like way far away from the city. You have to. You have absolutely no choice.
Yeah.
And even then, it's still like it's debatable as to whether it's worth it or not, right? So it's like now the question is, is there going to be a recession? Is are the housing market's going to collapse, or is everything going to go down and I'll get a better deal? And plus with the interest rates, it's just everything is a disaster. But speaking of buying houses, so do you remember you posted it as the Victorian farmhouse?
Yeah.
You had some info that you had found out on it, right? The one that I said that my friend owns it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that place is
I didn't know.
cool.
See, yeah. So no, I thought. I swear, I found that a developer owned that place.
Okay.
And
They're
They're
so
like
they
just
may-
land leasing the land. Like they're leasing the land for farming use now,
Right.
but they were gonna develop it. But that's funny. You know them.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
It was
great for you if you could
it was-
explore it anytime you want.
Yeah, exactly. It was just kind of like by chance. One day we were in there film because I filmed it like probably 3 or 4 times because it
Yeah.
is haunted and it's got like some weird stuff going on.
Beautiful home.
Oh, it's amazing.
Love that one.
Yeah. So as it turned out, it was funny because I was filming in there and then I posted something on Instagram and my friend messages me. He's like, "Hey, where is that house, by the way?" And I sent him the address. He's like, "Is there a barn in the back where like the metal roofing is like kind of falling off or like flapping in the wind?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, that's my house."
Really?
So his grandfather bought it to use the land. So they used to basically allow people to park trucks and stuff on the property. And then I think they do lease out the farmland. So the way it's owned, if it's owned under their company, it may look like it's a developer company, right? So, which
okay.
they're not. I think they sell like supplies to developers and stuff
Oh,
like
I
that.
see. Okay.
Something
Okay.
along those lines. I'm not
So
going to go
they
into
never lived there before. Like never.
They
lived
never
in the
did.
house.
No,
Yeah.
no. So they had learned that there was 3 generations of the same family that had lived there from when it was first built. So probably like early 1900s or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact year. And then after that, there was somebody, maybe that's who the developer was, who bought it and then was using it kind of like as an office space for a period of time. And then after that, my friend's grandfather bought it.
Oh,
And then
okay.
they've owned it. I don't really know how long they've owned it for.
Yeah, somebody's been shooting there. because I took some pictures and
in the barn.
Yeah, in the barn. They
Yeah.
must be shooting in the field or something.
Yeah, that's
but
not.
there's bullets. And,
Yeah, that's definitely not the owner. Because I told him about that. He's like, "What?" He's like, "Oh my god." He's getting frustrated because people constantly go there, right? So, like he's had people who will cut through from the back field. So it's like now they're going from one person's property to his property and then showing up there, and then people are shooting guns off, which is a problem because if there's somebody out in the field,
that's right,
also hiking towards the house through the field and you don't see them and you're firing a shotgun, you don't know what you're hitting.
That's right.
Right. So it's
and it's hunting season right now.
And that's exactly.
You got to realize that walking around the field or a forest, like it's hunting season big time around here.
Yeah.
So,
but I remember like what info did you end up finding out about that place? Because I've been trying to get a little more info on it.
I know. I think the original owners. So there was a baby was born inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the washroom now. It wasn't the washroom when the baby was born. But I actually know someone. Someone messaged me and said that they knew the original owners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think he just passed away. I think he lived there. Yeah, I think in the 1911 or something.
Wow.
But yeah, not too much. I just thought that I thought I looked up a developer that owned it, but no, there's not too much on it. That like I get people commenting on that video too. That I know someone used to live there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like. But no like real story on it really. Yeah.
I don't really know too much either. Just that there was the 3 generations that lived there, and he's not 100% sure, but he kind of heard that a child who's either connected to the house or lived in the house, he's not really quite sure if it was like a friend in the neighborhood or something, either died in the house or they had some sort of connection to it. But every time I go and investigate, I always conclude that there's definitely a child, like a spirit of a child kind of lingering around. And, well,
I love that Widow's Walk, that tower.
That's so cool.
Like you don't see too many of those houses around.
Yeah, that place is really,
it's too
really
bad
cool.
It's getting all trashed though.
Yeah, that's the sad part. Like they're pretty upset about it. So what I was thinking of doing is maybe actually buying it and
that'd be good.
Moving it. Because they want to obviously use the property for other things. So it's like if you take it, you just have to move it. So I'm thinking
that'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'm thinking of doing that maybe as a project if it's doable. I got to get some content. Yeah,
put it on your
I think
channel.
that would be cool, right?
Amazing.
I'm buying a haunted abandoned house.
I'll do well.
Yeah,
I know the decay is pretty bad now. Like the one bedroom is like where there's not a steel roof. Like there's a spot where there's steel roof and then there's not a steel roof, but it's just the ceilings just collapsed and it's rotting away. But
it's getting rough.
Yeah, but the main house I think is pretty good condition, really.
Yeah.
Vandalism stuff you could clean up.
Yeah. It's mostly just like spray paint. They broke the banister, which they were pretty disappointed about. Cause they're like, damn, that thing was beautiful. The original banister that was in there. If you notice,
the main
like
post is gone. Yeah,
they like chopped it out or whatever. I'm like, what the hell?
Sometimes people will steal those. Sometimes I've heard of people stealing the main banister, like the main post, and then putting it in their own home. And then they just, it's just a conversation piece, right? They could say, oh, this is from a, 200-year-old home.
That's funny.
Right? But
that's so random. Like, check out my post.
Yeah.
My one random post just here against the wall. You remember that house that was actually the location we met at? You remember that place?
Oh, the mansion.
It Takes Two mansion?
Yeah.
That place was so cool.
I love that place. That was such a cool place.
I cannot believe that they tore it down. It was what, like $25 million or something like that?
It was originally listed for $40 million.
$40 million.
And it sold for $30 million.
Yeah. Sometimes people think we clickbait about like the amount of money that these places are worth.
Yeah, no,
but
it's true.
There was no clickbait on that. It was just, it was actually $40 million.
Like in the States though, like you could buy a mansion for $2 million out there, right?
Yeah.
A $2 million mansion. There's no $2 million mansions around here.
No.
That's just a standard home around here.
No.
But no, that place was crazy big. I think it was 23,000 or 25,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And the pool, I found out that pool had like a retractable floor. So they'd press a button, I guess, and the floor would retract and then it would turn into a ballroom.
Yeah.
And they'd have parties. Wow. They had like famous people show up there and have great parties.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had that what was it? Like a shelter in the basement, like a bomb shelter.
Yeah, it was like a doomsday shelter kind of thing
Yeah.
in the basement, which none of us even knew were there, and then somebody pointed it out.
Yeah,
I think I don't remember who it was.
I was there with you, Ethan, and Motley Kiwi,
Right.
and I think Motley found it because Ethan didn't even know about it.
No.
And he's been
just
there.
thought
He
it
was
was
there a few times.
like an exterior door or something. That's all it looks like. It's just literally a door in the wall. And then at some point, somebody went down there, opened this door, and there was another door behind the door,
like
but
a safe
big
door.
metal door.
It was like
Yeah.
this thick.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was
So
crazy.
and he's like, "What the hell is this?" And they're like, "Guys, we're gonna show you something." So we all run downstairs and we're looking at this thing, and it's like, so basically the way they design doomsday shelters is they do it like this because radiation can't go around corners, or at least it can't go around two corners. And I learned that from, I don't know if you ever went to see Bruce Beach.
No.
He had the underground shelter that he built with buses. The
Oh yeah,
Arc 2
yeah,
shelter.
I know that. Yeah, I've never been there, but
That place.
that place
cool.
is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a very unique location.
Yeah.
But yeah, this house, random mansion, had this doomsday shelter, which was so cool. You could see like there was all the old oxygen tanks were all
water
in there.
tanks.
Yeah, so you could literally because you would have to survive in there for what, like 72 hours at
They had a
least.
generator,
Yeah,
running water, shower. They had everything in there.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that room, there was like, that house had like, I don't know, 1,000 closets. It was just crazy. So
Oh,
that
it's
there was
insane.
one room where it just had like 15 doors, and then there was one door that had a vent at the bottom, and that was the door to get into that shelter.
Oh.
So like, that's why you miss it, because you can't, when you're exploring these places, you're not going through like every single
Yeah,
closet.
yeah, it'll
Like
take you
take you
forever.
forever to check them all out. But
Mhm.
yeah, that was an incredible house. Yeah, the Olsen twins filmed a movie there.
Yeah,
Takes Two.
Two,
It
yeah.
Takes Two movie.
So
yeah.
during my video, I posted a few clips of the movie,
I did too.
Yeah, did
I
you?
think
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did.
and it was a horror movie too.
It Takes
was
Two?
There was a horror movie there.
Oh, there
filmed
was
there
a horror
too.
movie.
Yeah.
Awesome,
I posted some clips on that as well. I forget the name of the movie, but it was a horror movie.
Yeah, I think it was that
It might
white
be in
one
the
that you had on
description.
the screen.
Yeah.
The
But, yeah.
devastating story of the abandoned subdivision, 14 luxury homes.
No, that's something. Oh,
Different.
you're
Different.
asking him about
I just went to
that.
that one again. Actually, I got two videos posted on that place. That's a pretty cool spot.
Yeah, this one's the second video that you have that has over 1 million views.
Mhm.
Yeah, there's one. The first one I did, I think it just hit 1 million, and then the second one I did, I posted about a month ago. I think it's almost getting close to 1 million. But yeah, that place is just interesting because I guess there was sinkholes forming on that property
Mhm.
I see the
for
thumbnail.
years,
Yeah.
even before they built them, and they were warning them about it, and the developer got approval anyways to build the homes there. And then the people even, like, I had a guy message me that built the first 3 homes, and he was just thinking, this is nuts. It's like, he knows the area, and he says these things are just going to fall on the ground eventually.
Oh, no.
And he was right.
Mhm.
And eventually, yeah, like they evacuated everybody because there was a sinkhole that formed, and it was, I think it took 40 dump truck loads to fill the sinkhole up.
Ooh.
So you don't want to fall in there. So I did like an updated video, and wanted
Yeah,
to
5
see.
years later.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's 5 years after it was been abandoned. So the videos, the 2 videos are probably a year apart, I guess. But
Look at that.
yeah, no, it was crazy. And there's new sinkholes forming that I found. And then the homeless are in there, and the scrappers are in there.
Mhm.
Like they have a huge fence around that whole area. All barbed wire, but they don't even care. They're not even watching that place anymore. So people are going in there and taking the fences down and stealing stuff. But they say they're only worth $2, $1 for the land and $1 for their house. So they're worth nothing.
Damn.
Yeah, and they're $1 million homes
Yeah.
sitting there. Beautiful view of the ocean, mountains.
That's BC.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But that place is it's landlocked too. So you can only get there by ferry. Or a float plane, or you can't
Yeah,
drive
that's the problem with BC. Like when we went there, we wanted to go to Victoria, but we
Yeah.
couldn't get a ferry that you could load the car onto
Oh,
to
yeah.
get there for
there.
the
Oh
day.
yeah.
Because we just wanted to like go literally just for the day, right? But we're like,
Yeah.
I guess next time I'll just fly.
Well, summertime is
directly
so busy
into-
there. You gotta like
Yeah.
pre-book it.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
want to bring your car on,
Mhm.
like it's different if you want to walk on, but if you want to bring your car on, you gotta like pre-book the ferry. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's so busy there in the
Yeah.
summertime. It's nuts.
Yeah, that's the only problem. It's kind of like, remember when we did the drive to PEI?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you drive from Nova Scotia,
Yep.
and
Nice.
and you take the ferry with your car on the ferry. You end up in PEI, and then you can just drive around from there. And then I think we took the bridge, the Confederate Bridge.
Cool. I've never been to
coming
PEI
back.
before.
Really cool.
Never been.
It's very unique. Everything's very red.
Oh, really?
Because of the soil, everything's
Oh.
like clay
Oh,
colored.
like red clay,
right?
okay.
Yeah, it's super cool. Like even like all the beaches and stuff are all red.
No way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's a couple spots out that way where you're kind of like on the ocean floor. Like you can just literally just go walk right out and it's just all red. Even Nova Scotia, there's a lot of spots that are like that because there's one spot that has, I believe it's the highest tides
Oh, yeah.
in the world. Is Nova Scotia. So we've been there. It was super windy to the point where like we're on the camera, we're going, you can't hear anything because it's just so windy that it's just cutting all of the audio out. But yeah, that was a really, really unique location is PEI. So I think you'll have fun in Newfoundland because I hear good things.
Yeah, I've been there a couple times, but I
Yeah.
haven't filmed out there yet. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. Well, Newfoundland is like the oldest place in Canada, right?
Yeah,
the oldest
yeah.
city
I'm
is St.
pretty sure.
John's.
Oh, yeah.
1600s, yeah,
Yeah.
is when it was established.
There's one
So-
place I gotta take a boat to, and I contacted a local fisherman,
Mhm.
and I just said I need to get here. How much would it cost to just drop me off and pick me up later? So
Mhm.
we're working something out, and he's gonna take me there. And
Oh, that's good.
yeah, it's gonna be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's cool. There's a lot of like islands that you can do like that in Nova Scotia. I don't know if there's anything like actually on the islands, but I know there's like a lot of places that Lomar and Chelsea have done before. Which
Oh, yeah,
which are
okay.
pretty interesting. Do you ever? I wrote something down here. Do you find you encounter more danger in the city when exploring?
Probably more squatters
Yeah,
in the city. Yeah.
Hamilton.
Yeah, I haven't been out to Hamilton much
Yeah.
exploring.
I wonder why.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I try to stay away from there.
Yeah, I think everybody generally does the same. I love it because Carlos, I was like, yeah, there's this spot in Hamilton, that spot. I'm like, Carlos, stop trying to get us out to Hamilton.
Yeah.
Okay, there's too many squatters.
Yeah.
There's like people in these buildings. We don't know what they're gonna do, right? If they're like out of their mind, they're gonna start like
Oh,
chasing you
yeah.
around with a needle or something.
Oh yeah,
I don't know.
for sure.
Right.
Yeah, for those who don't
It's-
know, Hamilton's kind of it's an old workers town that there's a lot of drugs.
Yeah,
A lot of
it's,
drugs.
It's
Yeah.
rough.
Okay.
Hamilton's pretty rough,
Yeah.
like the downtown area. But most of the abandoned, the reason why there's so much abandoned is because they were going to put the LRT right through. So they basically took over this, and the city bought all these properties on that one like strip,
Yeah.
and they were supposed to tear everything down and then put the LRT right through it. But then the project got canceled, so now all these places just sit there empty
Wow.
and vacant, right? And a lot of the squatters have slowly kind of moved their way in.
Yeah,
like-
there's a cool church that I wanted to explore there
Mhm.
in Hamilton, but I never did. But yeah, it quickly got filled up with homeless people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a red one, right?
That's right,
Yeah, I've
exact
done
one.
that. Did it years ago, and I remember going
Oh,
into
yeah.
the basement, and there was just like stuff everywhere from all the squatters, drug paraphernalia. Like it was,
Yeah.
it was pretty bad. Yeah, I would definitely say if you're gonna go and explore in Hamilton, Ontario, be very careful.
Bring
but
bear spray.
bear spray. Yeah, exactly. Oh, you know what you could bring? You can buy the bear horns. You can
Oh,
just
really?
Scare the crap
Oh,
out of
wow.
everybody. Just, hey, get
That
away from me!
might work. That might work.
I think it would be pretty funny. Do you usually prefer going together with people, or do you go alone?
I mostly go alone.
Yeah.
But I do really enjoy going with a group. You know, other people that enjoy it as well,
Mhm.
for sure. It's a lot of fun. But I mostly film by myself. I don't know. I just go out on my own. Then I can take all the time I want.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm with a group too, I always worried about taking too long or something.
Yeah.
Because they're usually like just taking pictures or something. But no, going to a group's a lot of fun. And there's certain locations I'll go only with somebody else or a group.
Right.
Just if I feel like it's kind of an unsafe area,
Mhm.
Yeah.
then I'll purposely like, okay, I'm going to get some people together and go
Yeah.
together. Because I wouldn't want to go by myself.
Smart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only you and Dave. You guys both go alone. I
Yeah,
don't know
Dave
how you
goes alone a
guys
lot.
do
Yeah.
it.
I've been exploring. I explored with him before a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, he's funny.
Yeah, it's a good guy.
Yeah, he's fun to explore with. I've had some interesting experiences with him. We tried to do the London Asylum.
Oh, yeah.
This was before it became before it blew up.
Yeah.
So it was me, Mo, Carlo, Dave. We all went. It was middle of winter. and we parked across the street, as pretty much everybody did at the time before this was, so they had active security at the time. So he's like, yeah, we'll go and try and get in there. So he gets behind the fence, and so Mo left because he forgot his camera in his truck. I'm like, how do you go and film a place and you don't even bring your camera? But anyways, so he went back to his truck. So me and Carlo were kind of like waiting off somewhere while Dave is behind the fence, and all of a sudden we see the security car coming towards the building where he's at. We're like, oh shit. So we think that he probably set off like a motion sensor or something.
Oh, okay.
So we texted him. We're like, yo, security's coming. You got to like hide. So apparently he went literally face down in the snow and then just lied there. And we could see the security with the spotlight looking around for him, right? Because he knew something was up. And so me and Carla were like, yo, we got to like decoy this guy. So we come out, we're like walking on one of the roads now. And we got the security to start following us, and then we messaged him. We're like, yo, Dave, get out of there now. And he like ran. I don't know where he ran, but somehow he ended up at like the back of the property. But yeah, it was a pretty funny experience. We did not get in that day though.
Oh, jeez.
We're like, yeah, we'll come back and try again, I guess.
Have you ever like paid a security guard to let you go in a place, or just ask permission? Or no, you did.
I've tried to like ask permission. I know
sometimes they will let you in.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It just depends on the guy, right?
Yeah. I know Mo and Carlo bribed a security guard at the St. Catherine's Hospital years ago with donuts.
Oh, wow.
And it worked.
That's all right.
They let
Yeah.
So I think the security guard was under the impression that they just wanted to be past the fence and that they were going to film and take photos of the outside of the building. I don't think he realized that what they meant was, we are going into the building, right? Here is your buy off of a box of donuts. And funny enough, Dave showed up because they told him that they're like, yeah, we're in the St. Catherine's Hospital right now, you should come. So he's like, okay, I'm on the way. So Dave shows up, goes up to the security guard. He's like, yeah, my friends are all inside of the hospital. I'm just gonna go and meet up with them. And he's like, what? They're inside the hospital? That's not what we agreed upon. So now the security's all like,
oh, no way.
Yeah, but I've never
They don't pay them that well. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Security guards, they don't pay them well at all.
No.
So
like, they don't care.
Sometimes I'm not going to say the location because I don't want to get the guy fired, because he was like, I don't want to get fired.
Yeah.
But I gave him a $50 bill.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, yeah, you know what? There's cameras here, but there's 3 that only work. So don't go near these 3 cameras, because then they'll see it and then I'll get fired because I let you guys in. So we were like, yeah, no problem. And we had all the time at that location to film, and he was really nice. And he told me that he didn't like going in the buildings anyways, like to patrol. He only patrolled on his little Kubota side-by-side machine. But he was more worried about scrappers and vandals. He didn't really care. He knew about like Urbex, and he knew that they're mostly like respectable. Yeah. But it was more the scrappers looking for copper and the vandals just smashing stuff. That's he was worried about. He just kicked them out. But yeah, you never know. Like sometimes you just ask, or you bribe them with donuts and $50 bill, and they'll let you in.
Yeah, exactly. Just
because sometimes they're making like $16 an hour. Like they don't pay them much. It's crazy. That's probably why they didn't do anything at that mall when the guy was smashing the jewelry display case with a hammer.
Right. Let's be realistic. It's
not worth you get killed over.
It's Brampton. They can't do anything anyways. Right? Yeah. So our laws are just all over the place over here, and plus they don't have guns. So what are they supposed to do?
Flashlights, that's it. Like the guy's got a hammer, so I don't know if I'd challenge a guy with a hammer. And the only thing I had was a flashlight. That's not a good weapon to have. But
just let him go, I suppose.
Yeah. They got insurance.
Pretty much. How do you balance preserving the secrecy of lesser known locations with sharing your experiences and findings with the Urbex community or the public?
Yeah, it depends on location. I don't like sharing locations at all unless I know the person personally, because I get messages constantly, like all the time. Like, where is this? I want to go. Or they'll say, I explore places too, which not all the time I believe them, because a lot of these people
doesn't mean anything.
No. And there's other people looking for abandoned places as well that are looking to scrap, like take the copper out. There's like I went to a location, there was a Porsche there, and everybody was messaging me. I want the car, or I want to go exploring there too. But I didn't tell anybody the location. But that car went missing.
Of course.
Someone took it, and it was worth a lot of money. It needed a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I'm very secretive with my locations that I find. And if anybody gives me a location,
Mm-hmm.
I'm very trustworthy too. Like I won't just give that away. If someone wants it and I know them personally, I'll say, well, just check with them because they gave me the location. Because I don't want to risk my relationship with somebody giving out their location. They said, don't share that, right? So, yeah, no, I'm very, very picky with that. But if I know you personally and I know who you are, then yeah, I don't mind sharing a location here and there.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, for me, it's kind of like you almost feel responsible for the locations itself, and then if you find out that it got like vandalized and things went missing later on, you realize that well, I shared it with this person. Who did they share it with? Right?
Yeah,
because that's where the problem lies.
That's right.
It's like sometimes you can even trust the person you're giving it to, but you don't know who they're going to give it to. So
Yeah,
there's got to be some
exactly.
kind of like boundaries with stuff like this, because otherwise things go awry.
Yeah.
Kind of like the time capsule ones, right? Like time capsule
all
houses,
the
like those ones are
time.
you got to watch because there's just so much stuff there
Yeah.
and valuables, right? But depends on the location,
Mhm.
right? If it's already graffitied up and it's like a school or something, and
Yeah, exactly. At
everybody
that
knows
point, who
about it,
cares?
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
But yeah, there was the one recently in Lincoln. And they demolished it. I couldn't believe it. It was like full of antiques. It's like right, kind of like in the middle of a bunch of winery, or like.
Was it a house?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if you ever did it
I don't know if I
before,
did that
but
in Lincoln.
I swear it had been abandoned since like the 60s.
Really?
There was a little calendar. I remember I did it years ago. I did it with I think you know Jennifer and Scott. Urbex mom, she goes by.
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah.
think you know her.
I've been out with her once before,
Yeah.
years ago when I first started out. I went
Mhm.
out with her and a couple people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is she is still in? She's not in doing
I
that
don't
anymore?
know.
I
I
haven't
don't
seen
know. I
any.
haven't. I gotta call them up. I haven't spoken to them in a little while. Just see how things are with them. But yeah, so we were in there, and I found this little tiny calendar, and it was open to like 1968 or something like that. And
Wow.
I remember it was so brittle that I touched it, and like half the calendar
Just like
disintegrated.
disintegrated.
Yeah, I'm like,
Oh, those are the
holy
best
crap,
ones.
man.
I really
Yeah.
like the time capsule ones
Yeah.
for sure.
That one was cool. Tons of
Yeah.
antiques and stuff like that. What advice would you give to somebody who's interested in starting urban exploring as a hobby?
Well, it's very dangerous. First of all, it's
Mhm.
not for everybody.
Yeah.
There's lots of hazards out there for sure. Like long grass in the summertime,
Ticks.
you know, you're gonna get ticks,
Yeah.
and then you're gonna fall into a well or a septic tank.
Mm-hmm.
And then wintertime too. Like you could just the snow covers a lot of
Mhm.
dangerous things. And it's just be respectful and don't share locations to everybody and post the addresses all over the place.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
What about YouTube? Would you recommend doing YouTube?
Oh, for sure. For sure. I just did I was like a guest speaker for this tech university a few weeks ago. They're doing a course on content creating,
Mm-hmm.
and they're asking a few questions about that.
That's so cool.
Yeah,
You got
it was-
invited to that. That's so
It
cool.
was pretty neat. It was like 40 students,
Mm-hmm.
and they're taking a course on content creating. So not just YouTube, it could be anything,
Yeah,
right? Like
social media,
yeah,
whatever,
everything,
whatever.
right?
Yeah.
How to make money and
Mm-hmm.
stuff on creating content. But yeah, no, it takes a lot of patience, obviously. Like, you know, you guys got channels and stuff. Like it took me a while to get to like the 1,000 subscriber.
Mm-hmm.
Took me a while.
Yeah, I find that's always the most challenging hurdle is the first 1,000 and then the
Yeah.
first 10,000. And then after the 10,000 mark is like when things really kind of start to come together and change. Because that's when you
Yeah.
really kind of have like a solid fan base. And I tell people, it's like if you have like 20 to 30% retention, so to say, like
Mhm.
that 20 to 30% minimum is watching your videos consistently, you're doing really well.
Yeah, for
Right?
sure.
So let's say you have 100,000. I would say if you're getting like 20 to 30,000 views, maybe even like 15,000 views, you're doing relatively well,
Yeah.
depending on what your niche might be or whatever
sure.
it is. So yeah, for
But
those
yeah.
of you,
Just be yourself too,
Yeah.
right? Like I know some people that do channels and stuff. It's not really for them. You can kind of tell in their work. But like if you just do a channel or something that you really enjoy, that you have fun doing, and you do well, just be yourself. try not to pretend to be somebody else, and just do your own style kind of thing, right? But yeah, be patient and just keep filming, and or go your way one day. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you because you're at what, about 180,000 subscribers?
No,
I think?
not that high.
No, not that high.
No, 143. I think I did.
143.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you, looking back, did you expect it to like? Is that good to you? Like, is
yeah, I
where
never
you're at?
expected that.
You never expected
No,
it?
I clearly did this only as just a fun hobby.
Yeah.
And yeah, I kind of tried to get to 1,000. That was my goal, just because you get monetized then, right?
Yeah.
And then, I was like thinking, oh, maybe I'll get $50 here and there. That'd be fun to kind of make some money on the side. But other than that,
Pay for some gas.
Oh yeah, whatever. Stuff. Right. But it kind of just blew up, I guess. And I never expected it, for sure. Yeah. Now I get like sponsors and people asking me to speak and doing podcasts here and stuff like that. It's like two different lives I live, really. Like I'm a normal dude in real life, but then YouTube, I feel like it's a whole nother world, right? It's like a second life. It's strange because you get fans message you and people sending gifts, and it's crazy.
I never even thought. Weird, right?
Yeah,
it feels so weird sometimes. So we were talking on the last episode. So I went down to Connecticut recently, and they had this thing called the Phantasmacon. It was put on by the Ed and Lorraine Warren Museum. I don't know if you know who they are. You ever seen the Conjuring movies?
Oh yeah.
So you remember the demonologists? The characters, so they're based on real people, Ed and Lorraine Warren. They've both passed away now, but there's a museum where they've stored all of their haunted objects, and they did this convention in Connecticut at the Mohegan Sun Casino where they brought all of the objects, or not all of them, but like a bunch of them, including the Annabelle doll, to the actual convention. So a bunch of creators who are all paranormal investigators, whatever, content creators, were invited as guests, including my friends Omar Gosh and Yasko. So Yasko invited me. He's like, yo, come through. I don't know what's going to happen. But we'll just like get wasted the entire time and have a good event, right? I'm like, sure, sounds good to me, right? Plus, I was on the way down there anyways, because we were going to do a memorial for another YouTuber, a friend of mine who had passed away like about a month and a half ago. So we kind of like to, kill two birds with one stone sort of thing. Ended up at this event. Never expected to meet so many fans.
Wow.
It's
That's
just
cool.
weird how like people know your name. Right.
Yeah.
For example, recently, it's happened on a couple of occasions now. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but there was one time in BC, of course, at the liquor store. So we're just buying some liquor because we were on our way back to Calgary, and we were like in bumfuck nowhere, BC, like little tiny town, and get to this liquor store, buying a couple bottles of wine for that evening, and all of a sudden this lady goes, "Exploring with Angelo." I'm like, who, me? Right? I'm like, I never really like
she didn't flick her bra yet, did she?
Sorry?
Flick your bra across the
rock star.
Rock star.
Yeah, that time. And then there was also passing through, I think it was in like Washington, D.C., near it or whatever. I stopped at a 7-Eleven with my friend Chad and went inside. I think I was buying like a cappuccino or something. And she stops and she goes like, I'm like, what? She's just like, "Angelo." And I'm like, do I know you?
Who are you?
I've never met these people before, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, even at the con, like it was pretty unique. Have you ever met any like fans in public that just like, "Hey, I know you from somewhere"?
Yeah, I had some guy pull up to me in a vehicle once.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, did I cut this guy off or something? Yeah. And he's like, roll your window down. So I roll my window down. And he's like, "Hey, Brent, I know you. I watch your videos." He's like, "I love your videos." I'm like, "That's cool." I'm like, "Thank you very much." And we're at a red light, and then it went green, so I couldn't really chat with him. So I'm like, "Yeah, thank you," and I took off. But I've seen, I have decals and stuff that I sell, and sometimes I just give them away. But I've seen a few vehicles with them, so it's kind of neat. Yeah, so
that's so cool.
I felt like they're kind of catching up to them and like waving, but I just see them
gonna cause an accident.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's a star. It's Brent.
Yeah. But no, I don't like my channel. Like I don't tell a lot of people. Like I have a job like this. I do YouTube as a hobby and like a side thing, right? So I have a full-time job. I work 40 hours a week, and I I don't tell anybody at work, and I don't really tell my friends really about it unless they see my video. So I get quite a few people at work now and family and friends that are like, I was just on YouTube and I just seen his video, and it's like, I know this guy. And it's hilarious because they're like, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to be like, I know, center of attention kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, but it's hard now because people are like, they see the videos, right?
Yeah. Well,
But
now you're
no.
just a superstar. Everybody knows you,
Yeah, yeah.
right? Everybody knows your name. And
I met a guy at an airport once, and he was going on and on about abandoned places and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to tell this guy what I do, because I
Yeah.
was on a flight to go film. So I'm like, oh, I got a channel going, and I love that stuff too. And he's like, oh, really? He's like, what's your channel name? Then he looks me up, and he's like, holy shit. He's like, I had like 120,000 subscribers at that point. He's like, holy shit, you're really big. You got over 100,000 subscribers. And
just like,
yeah,
yeah,
he's just like,
it's
oh,
alright, I
geez, like, I'm going to
guess.
subscribe right now. I'm like, oh, thank you. But yeah, I kind of had to tell him because he
Yeah.
was such a fan of it. And I'm like, oh, that's what I'm here for right now. I'm going to be flying out and filming some abandoned places, but I don't usually tell people about it. But
yeah. I
Yeah.
usually don't tell people unless they generally ask, like, oh, what do
Yeah.
you do? And it's like, I do YouTube full time.
well,
so
you do it
for-
full time. So yeah, they
yeah.
say, what do you do for work?
Yeah,
Then you just-
exactly.
yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
what else am I going to say? I'm a bum or something,
Yeah,
right? Like,
I do nothing.
But yeah, sometimes you just got to explain, like, yeah, I do YouTube. I go to like haunted place. And then of course the question is like, oh, you do YouTube. Sometimes I like to, mess with them. I say I'm a content creator online, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I make Pornhub videos.
Oh, there you go.
So but obviously I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. I make YouTube videos. But yeah, and then they're like, oh, well, what kind of stuff do you do? And I'm like, oh, I go to haunted locations. They're like, oh, that's scary. How do you do that? I'm like, I just walk in.
Yeah, just walk in. Bring
You
a
just
camera.
walk in through the door. Like, but yeah, it's always a good time. I think we kind of like vaguely went over this, but what kind of like motivated you to start? So was it just more like for fun that you just kind of wanted to document the location? And that's why you started kind of like posting the videos?
Exactly. Yeah, I kind of like consider it documenting, right? But yeah, I just it's always been a hobby of mine. Like I've been exploring places since I was a kid, and like I took my friends to these places sometimes. Like I did some pretty cool locations when I was young that they're long gone now,
Yeah.
which I wish I filmed. But like I did a house when I was a kid. It was a famous dog food inventor. As Dr. Ballard, his name was.
Oh, okay.
And he invented like this certain kind of dog food or something. But he had this old farmhouse mansion and it had like leather walls and it had a dumbwaiter inside, and one of those walls that you'd see on like the cartoons where you push it and it would turn. The
Wow.
bookshelf
Oh,
would turn
wow.
around and you could go into another room. It was like
That's
a
cool.
secret wall
I've
door.
always wanted that.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, it had it. It was amazing. But I was in high school actually when I went to that one. But yeah, no, it's a long time hobby, and I just decided to do a channel and see where it ends up, kind of
Yeah.
thing, right? But I still watch YouTubers that are doing what I'm doing. Like I'm still a fan of it. When I have time, I like to watch YouTube as well, and places, right?
Yeah.
People exploring places. So
Yeah, me too. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'm so busy nowadays. I don't really have the time to like
Yeah.
watch every video.
yeah,
So like when I'm watching content online, I'll be real with you. It's usually like politics or something,
Oh,
right?
yeah,
Just to
okay.
kind of stay in the loop, know
Yeah.
what's going on, sort of thing. But yeah, once in a while, if there's like something really unique or really cool that kind of pops up, like if Big Banks did it or you did it or Steve Ronan or Exploring with Josh or whatever did it, I'm like, all right, I gotta peep this. I gotta see what this was all about, right? So yeah, I guess I still watch it. But like when I first started, I watched, I think the very first abandoned like Urbex video was probably the Proper People. And
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they did the cathedral in Pittsburgh, which has now long since been sealed. But I did it myself in 2021. I'm like, oh, this is so cool, because it was literally that location that kind of inspired me to get into like Urbex, like back in, I don't know, 2018 or something like that. like I had done kind of like what you did, where
Yeah.
I would go with some friends when we were younger, and there was like a house close to my house before it caught on fire, and we would go and hang out in there and just kind of like look around, and we would tell each other stories about, oh, the father went crazy and killed the whole family, which was probably not even a true story. I don't even know where the story came from, but it just, people just kept saying it, right? So but yeah, stuff like that. So it's pretty fun. Do you have a plan to be a full-time YouTube? Is that ever something that's of interest to you?
Yeah, I kind of think about it sometimes. I'd probably love to do it full time and just travel a lot. And I could totally do it full time, but I do like my full-time job I have,
Yeah.
you know, and it just, I get a little nervous with the revenue, right, on
Right.
YouTube, and like
can
how,
fluctuate and change.
yeah, exactly. But like my job I have now, I have a pension.
Right.
So YouTube's not going to give me a pension. So,
Sure.
but you know, I've thought about it quite a bit, and yeah, because the more videos you post and more good locations that I travel to, like I'll probably do a lot better. But yeah, no, for sure, I'd love to do it full time.
Yeah.
It'd be cool. It'd
Yeah.
be very cool.
Maybe get sponsors to help you out, give you some more e-bikes and mopeds.
Yeah, e-bikes.
apparently.
Yeah, I got a collection of e-bikes.
Yeah, there's all these.
I just gave one to my mom.
Did you?
Yeah,
Oh my God,
she
that's
just
so
retired,
funny.
so I'm like, I'm gonna give her an e-bike. She'll love this
Yeah.
because she wants to get an e-bike.
Right.
So I'm
Nice.
like, well, here's a real nice one here for you.
Yeah, exactly. There's all
But,
these like sponsor affiliate companies that keep hitting everybody up about
Yeah.
e-bikes, and they're like, hey, you want a free e-bike? You just gotta do a video about it and maybe post a picture or something.
Yeah, I don't do review
Sure.
videos anymore. I do more like an integrated video.
Right,
Just kind of like
right.
a quick
Yeah.
review, like 40 to 60 seconds, like an ad kind of thing, right? And then they'll send it to me. Sometimes they'll pay me too, and then I get commission on it.
Right.
But puts food on the table, right?
Yeah, exactly. For me,
But,
I have a second channel that I call the vlog channel. So for me, that's more like just the fun stuff,
Yeah.
fun, random, just be totally out there and crazy, and
Yeah.
to the point where I remember there was one video. It was Mo and I. We were in Ottawa, and he's Lebanese, and there's a Lebanese food. It's called kek, Kaak, right? Yeah. I don't know how to pronounce it, whatever. But I thought it was hilarious. We were driving around Ottawa,
Looking for cack.
holding it up and asking people if they wanted a cack, right? So like shit like that is funny, right? Like I've done all sorts of like crazy randomness. You have a second channel, right?
Yeah, but I haven't posted anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I found it's called Brent's Outdoors.
Brent's outdoors. Yeah, I spend a lot of time outdoors.
Yeah.
I love the outdoors.
So
but
what's
yeah,
the-
it's going to be like an outdoorsy
Okay.
channel. Like
So kind of
me
like
doing
vlog
everything.
your daily day-to-day.
Yeah, like I'll be
adventure.
going on all different kinds of excursions and different trips and stuff. So just outdoor type
Yeah.
stuff. But I haven't posted anything on it yet. So I got a few subscribers.
Yeah.
Once in a while I'll say like subscribe to my second channel.
Yeah.
And people
Plug
will.
it.
But yeah, I haven't really.
When you start posting, you'll be
I'll-
able to actually
yeah.
promote it and get people
Yeah,
to...
so something, it's not going to be abandoned. Like the channel I have now, it's strictly abandoned stuff. And then my second channel, I'll do some outdoorsy type stuff, trips and camping and all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I find sometimes doing like the vlog stuff, second channel type of stuff,
Yeah.
I often find it more fun because you're just doing literally whatever and just acting stupid.
You can say whatever you
can
want.
literally say
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, I say whatever I want generally in the main channel stuff. But I feel like there's obviously more of like a certain flow that's,
Yeah.
the way those videos are constructed, there's a certain methodology to it. Like there's probably a certain way that you go about filming your video. It's like, okay, I got to do I got to do the intro, and then I got to film the bulk of the story, and then whether you got a voiceover, if you're giving the whole thing on the spot, then you got to fly the drone, then you got to get the cinematics, and then you got to do your photos and whatever. There's like a whole flow or method to it. Whereas vlog, you just grab the camera, walking down the street and doing
yourself.
really dumb shit, right? Like I remember being in Salem last year, and Lomar and Chelsea came through, and I remember there was this song that I used for Mike's wedding video in Alberta, and we kept playing it in Nova Scotia. So when they showed up in Salem, I serenaded Lomar with this song, right? And we're both just like standing there and just like looking at each other. And, like, it's like stupid as hell, but it's funny and it's entertaining at the same time because we're just acting like morons. But
that's the kind of video that you're like your truest fans,
right.
that video war channel, they'll gravitate towards that to just see your everyday life.
Yeah, for sure.
And they appreciate it too because they see you as like a real human being at that point.
Yeah,
right?
not just stuck in a basement of an abandoned house.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
It's not always the same thing. But apart from that, your content apparently, I didn't even know this. Mo just put this here.
Yeah, so I was looking through your YouTube channel in your like your about part of the channel. You're saying that you've been featured in some magazines. You've inspired kind of like a movie, a novel. You want to talk about that at all? So I'm seeing you're featured in Reader's Digest, Canada Magazine, CTV, Television Network. How did that come about?
Yeah, Reader's Digest. I was in there twice. They actually did an article just on that ghost town that I told you about. One of my favorite explorers. There's a ghost town in BC. There's like 22 abandoned houses. They did a whole article on that and put all my pictures in the magazine. And then they contacted me about a year later and said, like, we want to do a whole like a 4-page spread thing on that's like a whole article just on me and what I do. So I'm like, yeah, that'd be fantastic for sure. So they asked for a bunch of pictures that I liked, like my favorite pictures. And then it was like 4 pages and that was kind of neat. Yeah. And then there was a horror movie that was done. The guy I think it was in Pennsylvania. He contacted me and he loves my channel. And, so my channel is kind of like an inspiration to the horror movie. So it's pretty much about, urban explorers, and they all have their like handle names, and they got their own YouTube channels, and they all go out together as a group, exploring and documenting all these abandoned houses. But then there's like something out there that's killing them off, all these urban explorers. So it's pretty cool.
That's the one called Redwoods.
Redwoods, yeah.
That's a cool idea.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's pretty accurate on how like urban explorers kind of work
and how we all die.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, those guys falling through the floor, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, but that was kind of cool.
That's neat.
Yeah.
So you were actually in the movie?
No, I wasn't in the movie. No, I was just my channel was an inspiration,
right?
Kind of to the movie. But he did ask me like. If I ever want to do like a cameo type thing one day, like maybe in the future, do a little small part in one of his films or something.
Yeah. That sounds like a neat idea for a movie though.
Yeah.
Before we started the show, you were mentioning extreme travel. You actually told me of somebody who's in Toronto. Is that something that you're considering doing in the future?
A little bit. Yeah. Like I kind of, this is a friend of mine. His name's Chris. His channel's name is Chris Mustless. Yeah, the guy is just unreal. Like he's such a good talker and very friendly, caring person. And I think people just when he travels, like they just kind of gravitate to him. But his channel is just blowing up right now, and he does some pretty crazy locations. And like he just travels all over the world. But he goes in some real dangerous spots. Which I'm not comfortable doing. I would never do that.
Just like that, I'm outside. It's a sunny day. I'm back with
But yeah, he's got 187,000 subscribers now. Cool. He posts quite a bit.
Uncle Mo from Kenya.
Yeah, like he meets with like gangsters and gun dealers.
Kingston, Jamaica.
He goes where like no one will go. Like he is not the typical tourist. That's his slogan. And he would love to be on your podcast. He's great. But we're supposed to film together at one point. But yeah, he's got some great videos out.
I'll definitely for sure. I'll try and reach out to him.
Yeah, cool. He lives in Toronto here.
Because I'd like to get some pointers too. Because like that's definitely something I brought it up multiple times. That I'd love to do something like that. Because I like traveling. I've been to a lot of different places. Like I remember, what was it, 2 years ago now during COVID, Mo was going to buy a house in like a gated community in Puerto Plata. Only problem was there was no flights going to Puerto Plata, and he needed to go and see the place, obviously. And finish all the paperwork and whatever. So I'm like, well, we can fly into Punta Cana, which I believe is south, if I'm not mistaken. Puerto Plata's north, so opposite ends of the island. So we landed at the airport, rented a car, and then just drove 3.5 hours. So I think that was kind of like probably one of the closest experiences in terms of like extreme travel, like kind of going through the towns. You know, there's cows running alongside your car and
Wow.
people on mopeds, and there's like 3-4 people on one little moped or bike or whatever, and it was wild. Like you see all like the kind of shanty houses, if you will, that are kind of just like, you know, a bunch of random metal sidings that are all different colors and shapes, and they're all just kind of randomly put together to build one little home. And it's
tourists don't usually see that sort of stuff, right?
Exactly.
Like it's just, they always see like the resort type stuff, right?
Yeah.
But he actually got a few years ago. He got arrested and he's in jail, I think, for like a few weeks. It was all over the news here because I guess what he was doing, he was flying his drone around, and he was flying around this building. I can't remember what the building was called, but he was flying his drone around a building, doing some video, and the president happened to be there.
Oh,
so it was like very strict on photography and drones when the president's around, and they immediately arrested him and interrogated him. And he was in there for a few weeks. And he was like,
see if you can find it.
Yeah, it's on. There's a news article on it.
Was.
And it was crazy. So he was probably so scared being out in a jail like that. But but they let him go. He was clearly letting them know like he was this content creator, and he's not spying or anything. They thought he was like a spy, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole story, but yeah, you could look it up, and that's crazy.
Did you find it?
is this him?
Chris Must List.
Chris Must List
in Cuban Square.
Oh, okay.
Is that him?
That makes sense.
Cuban Detention
probably.
Center, Plaza de Revolution,
Let me see if I
Havana.
could find it here.
Well, it makes sense because it's Cuba. So like, you know, communism, they just watch everything that everybody does. Let me see if maybe I can find it too. Chris Must List arrest drone.
Oh yeah,
That's exactly what I typed. I don't think so.
He apparently got robbed in Jamaica.
Oh really?
Yeah. I can't really. I don't know. It's not.
I got a video here.
Man arrested for flying drone into state capitol is well known to local law enforcement. Nope.
No, probably something else. But yeah, I imagine. I can remember somebody told me once that they had a drone. They were going to Cuba, and I think they like threatened to take it away or something.
While flying it?
No, just bringing it with them. While
Just
they
the
were,
airport.
Yeah, just at the airport while they were like entering Miradero or Havana or something. So I know it's kind of crazy. You got to be careful in places like that. But
yeah, I did find a video. He was doing an interview for it. Life in prison for flying a drone. Yeah, so he explains.
That's crazy.
This is what happened here.
Well, I guess we'll find it later on.
Yeah, I could try to send it to you.
But yeah, I think that's.
But yeah, it's interesting channel that he has. You don't see too many people doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess because it's just the risk factor of doing something like that, right? Like you'd be putting it literally all on the line, which I'm totally willing to do just to learn some shit, right?
Yeah, you just jump in a cab and just say, "Take me here."
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like it's crazy.
Yeah,
But,
just show up at the airport and just randomly decide I'm gonna go to I don't know, freaking Cairo today.
Yeah,
right?
And he does explore some abandoned places too.
Yeah.
Like he went to Iraq, I think, and he was exploring some abandoned places. But yeah,
I guess it makes sense if it like pertains to like maybe the history of the area or whatever. It's like, this is the old military base, for example, right? Like if you were to go to Germany, there's like tons of old Soviet bases, right?
Yeah.
I've got them all kind of marked on my map. Haven't done them yet, but they're out there. There's
That'd
a
be
lot
cool.
out there, right? Like that's unique. Like just do Soviet base after Soviet base and just document it all. But yeah, definitely one day I'll do some extreme travel. Maybe I'll contact him, see if he'll come on the show, and
he'll probably give you some tips.
For sure. I'd love to learn.
Sure,
more.
there's a way that he does it. Because he just. Yeah, because you can't. It's like a tourist bus is not going to drop him off there, right? Like he has to find people to take him there and interview people. But yeah, he does a good job.
Interesting. Well, I guess that's pretty much the end of today's show. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah,
thanks for having
go
me.
and
Thank you.
everybody go and check Brent's channel out, Abandoned Urbex Canada. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Subscribe if you're new. Smash the like button for the show, and we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Bye-bye.